A sitting United States congressman was told to get personal security after asking questions about UFOs. Former Vice President Dick Cheney may have been running a secret legacy program for decades, and whistleblowers are so afraid of being identified they will not step inside a congressional office building. What's really going on behind the scenes in the world of the government and UFOs? As always, I'm here to report the information without bias, and you can decide what to believe. You can find the sources in my detailed articles at ufonews.co, along with in the description box below. Hey, ufologists, I'm Cristina Gomez, and welcome to this episode of UFO News Updates. Congressman Tim Burchett has been one of the most vocal members of Congress on the UAP issue. He recently appeared on the Deace show and described just how deep this involvement has gone.
How many hours or hearings in total? How much testimony have you been a part of, heard firsthand as a member of Congress on the matter of UFOs?
Too many. Too many, man. I've sat in this office with so many whistleblowers and people that, I've talked to people that have the background. I guess I'll just leave it at that. And they've asked to meet me out in front of the building because they don't want to come in because of facial recognition, I guess.
Think about that for a moment. People with high-level government backgrounds are so concerned about being identified that they will not enter a congressional office building. Burchett also described well-known figures coming to his personal home to show him videos and share information that they could not discuss in an official setting. He emphasized his frustration with the information asymmetry within the government itself. He described meeting with one NASA official who claimed they had nothing, and then a meeting with another who showed him materials. He stated until a president or someone at the level releases the files, the public will never get to the bottom of this issue. Now here's where things get really interesting. During the latest reality check Q&A on News Nation, Ross Coulthart shared a very interesting story that has never been told publicly before. When asked who might be in charge of the so-called legacy program, Ross revealed that one of his program insiders gave him a personal mobile phone number and told him it belonged to the person in charge. For those unfamiliar, the legacy program is sometimes linked to historical programs like the rumored MJ-12 or the Majestic 12, which was allegedly established in the 1940s following reported UFO crashes. The program is said to operate outside standard government oversight, really focusing on retrieval and reverse engineering of non-human technology. According to Ross's sources, the person at the top of this program was former Vice President Dick Cheney, who passed away just last month. Take a listen.
One of my program insiders, shall we say, when I asked him this very question, gave me a number. He gave me a personal mobile number, which I still have in my phone. And he said, "This is the guy who's the head hog." And he said, "It's Dick Cheney." And I kind of laughed and I rang it. And I couldn't believe it. I was so freaked when Dick Cheney answered the phone that I just hung up. I was using hiding caller ID, so he couldn't track who it was. And I was absolutely paranoid that the forces of the dark state would be deployed to track down who this cheeky journalist was that had rung Dick Cheney. But all I can recall is hearing the gravelly, absolutely undoubted voice of Dick Cheney coming on the line. But yeah, I've been told that Dick Cheney was a principal in the legacy program.
This lines up with claims made by journalist Walter Kern, who revealed that David Grush privately named Dick Cheney as sitting at the top of what Kern called the classified UFO program pyramid. When Cheney was questioned on Washington, D.C. public radio back in April of 2001 about whether he had ever been briefed on UFOs, his response was notably evasive. He stated that if he had been briefed on it, he was sure it was probably classified and probably couldn't talk about it. Ross also mentioned that he does not believe directors of the CIA or even the Defense Intelligence Agency have necessarily been briefed into this secret. Instead, the legacy program allegedly picks people who will be in their position for a long time, that can't be impeached, and who have all the right credentials. When asked directly whether Burchett believes there is non-human intelligence at work on Earth, he didn't even hesitate.
Do you believe there is non-human intelligence at work on the Earth?
I do. I do. But that's just my simple. But again, I just want disclosure. I just want to know what we're spending the billions upon billions of dollars on, and why am I not allowed to share things that I've seen, and why are you not allowed to see them if they don't exist?
There is more to this cover, so don't go anywhere. Burchett has some strong words about the spiritual aspect of this phenomenon and why he was told to get security. He was asked about whistleblowers who have dismissed any spiritual component to the phenomenon. Some have referred it to the so-called religious extremists within the Pentagon who told them they were dealing with demonic forces. Those whistleblowers completely rejected this interpretation. He stated he thinks there is a spiritual component to some of it, but not all of it. He also expressed concern about people who have opened themselves up to certain practices, referencing that he called cult-like activities associated with some of the people in the UFO community. The host then brought up Ross Coulthart's participation in events where programs attempt to, quote, summon UAP.
So yeah, I think there's a spiritual component to some of it, not all of it.
Have you met Ross Coulthart at News Nation? But he regularly gathers in California with people to, quote, and this is their term, Congressman, quote, summon UAP. What are your thoughts on that terminology?
I'm not a part of that. There's a scam segment to that, and there's a spiritual component. I don't get it. I don't do the seances. I think my soul is pretty well protected as a Christian, but I don't know that I don't want to expose myself to that environment. I don't. I've talked to those people. I've had dinner with them. They use my name a lot. I wish they wouldn't, but yeah, that's not my thing.
For context, Ross has been involved with a group called Skywatcher, founded by UFO whistleblower Jake Barber. According to News Nation reporting from April of 2025, Skywatcher claims to have developed an electronic signaling system that Ross described as an electromagnetical dog whistle. The group claims a 100% success rate in attracting the phenomenon when using this device. Do you think the spiritual and scientific aspects of this phenomenon can coexist, or must it be one or the other? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Perhaps the most striking revelation from the Burchett interview was his admission about personal security concerns.
I remembered I was told under Trump's administration and under his first administration, when we did this, I was told that I probably need to get some security around me.
For talking about this issue? I got a minute. For talking about this issue? Was that specifically?
100%. Yeah, sure. Make a lot of people, but I always tell people I'm not suicidal, and I don't stand near cliffs. And if you find me with 17 bullet holes in the back of my head, I didn't shoot myself, but jokingly, of course.
He also stated that people have been discredited and that their lives have been ruined for pursuing this issue. Ross addressed the question of whether Marco Rubio has been briefed into the alleged secret programs. He admitted that about a week prior, he had assumed Rubio was read in, but when he received a phone call from someone allegedly in the know, ended up correcting him.
They said, you can't assume that Marco Rubio has been read in. That's how tightly this secret is held. There are people, I'm told, in the National Security Council, that's essentially the National Security Advisory Body for the executive branch, the president, who are briefed in and who are aware, but it's not clear to me that they've made the decision to yet brief Marco Rubio.
Ross expressed frustration that even as acting national security advisor, Rubio may not have been given access to this information. He stated that if he were in Rubio's position, it would be the first thing he would demand to know about. The same applies to President Trump, who Ross says has been at least partially briefed into the reality of non-human intelligence. But that doesn't really make him a member of the control group. So where does this all go from here? Burchett stated that he still hopes to get a 15-minute meeting with President Trump to discuss this issue. However, he was realistic about the diminishing returns of congressional hearings. He asked how many Air Force pilots and whistleblowers need to come forward before something changes. His view is that until somebody walks out of those labs with something in their hand or provides evidence that cannot be dismissed as artificial intelligence generated, momentum will only stall. What do you think should happen next in the push for disclosure? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm Cristina Gomez, and that is it for today. I will see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST for another UFO news update. Be safe, and remember, keep your eyes on the skies. If you enjoyed today's show, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit the notification bell as I do daily UFO news and updates. Fresh UAP stories, government disclosures, and breaking developments land here every single day.